Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. We made it to Friday, and we're glad you're along for the ride. We're going to be joined by JC on the Titan MR hotline here in just a second. Second portion of the show today, we'll be joined by Kenyon Berry, former Gator basketball player, talking a little bit about his career, what he's got going on right now. Let's go straight to the Titan MR hotline. We're joined by JC, good morning. How are you?
Hey. It's Friday, baby. Get ready for the member guest tournament. Yeah, this Friday.
Yes, it's at the new refurbished Stonehawk Country Club, which sounds like a prestigious place here in Gainesville.
Hey, they got new signs to show you where each hole is now. Beautiful blue sign. I tell you,
that's just a waste of money is what that is.
They got this big bird sitting on this rock, looking out boldly into the frontier. It's great. We have so many hawks out here. There's no question it should be the Hawk Stone.
Hawks and stones. So
right.
It goes well. Before we get into the draft, what happened last night? Again, big weekend series for the Gator baseball team. The Commodes, as I like to call them, they're in town.
No, there ain't nothing smelly about this team, brother.
Well, not in baseball, but in football, yes. And then softball is at Missouri. So, JC, last night, let's get your thoughts on the NFL draft. I'll tell you mine.
I would say the initial thought I have is I'm not sure why the 49ers felt the need to trade up to number 3. Not that Trey Lance isn't a really good player, but I think they could have gotten him later if they wanted him that badly, and they traded up to get him, and I was somewhat surprised by that. I didn't see also Mac Jones going down to the Patriots, but hey, I think New England's got a real winner there. He's a smart kid, good player. I think Belichick will do well with him. And then I was not surprised at all, as we've talked about here in the last few weeks, that Kyle Pitts would be the 4th pick to the Falcons. I had initially thought it would be the Miami Dolphins at number 6, but they got a lineman. And I think, really, when I look back, I don't think it's bad. Oh, no, wait, they got Waddle. Didn't they take Waddle? Yeah, Excuse me. They took Waddle. So Waddle went before Smith. I don't know if that's a real big deal or not. I don't think it really mattered. I think we all knew that both of those guys would go in the first round. Obviously, Waddle's leg injury is completely taken care of now. I think they feel confident that they've got them a guy who can score touchdowns and get the ball from 2 and 2. And Waddle had great chemistry, I think, and when they were in college. And I think it'll transfer up to the NFL. Other than that, I think it pretty much went as we thought it would.
Yeah, I will say this: the Jaguars did an exceptional job.
I love what Jacksonville did.
They got the 2 Clemson Tigers. I think ETN is very comparable to Alvin Kamara.
He's going to be
so
great.
We shall see.
I think it's great. I think you're so right about that. The Jaguars did fine.
Yeah. So congratulations.
Did you think they were going to get? Did you think they were going to get Travis Etienne? Is that who you saw going to Jacksonville that late?
Well, I think Etienne's going to be a better pro than Najee Harris, personally. Just because, Najee has to be in the right type of. When I watch Travis Etienne play, I think Alvin Kamara, and so we'll see. Time will tell.
Sure.
But I like Najee Harris as well, but I think Etienne's a better overall running back. I don't scout him like everybody else. I was surprised though, and congratulations to him, and I'm extremely happy for him that Kadarius Toney went in the first round.
Yes, very true. And look, he's exciting. I don't know why those fans out there. The reaction that they had when he was picked was kind of like, who? Well, guess what, you idiots? That guy can really play. He can really run, and he can make things happen, and that's what they need. So I was surprised at their fan reaction. I think that just shows lack of knowledge of what is capable out there, of what these players are capable of. And Toney, I mean, golly, if he gets the ball open field, who's going to get him? Nobody's going to get him. So I think it was a good pick. I think it was a real good pick, actually.
Well, it was. I was surprised. I didn't see him a first rounder, but I was wrong there.
He's a player, vehicle,
man. And well, he is. There's a lot of players out there. I mean, there's a million of them.
Oh, I know.
Refresh your vehicle and your brand with a vehicle wrap from Wrap Spot. April's your lucky month at Wrap Spot. Mention promo code Shane and receive 13% off your vehicle wrap. I saw some tweet. Dan Mullen was there. Obviously, what's interesting though is both these guys. I mean, he's only been here for 3 years, but both the guys that went first round, Jim McElwain guys.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, Jim found some players. He had some players. They just didn't win. The thing is, the other one I was going to mention that somewhat surprised me was what Cincinnati did, but it doesn't surprise you when you consider again, it's about chemistry, and Burrow's going to find Jamar Chase all over the field, and scoring points is how you win, right? And I thought we were looking at an offensive lineman for Cincinnati, but I guess they just couldn't pass on a player like that, and he's just too special. Yeah.
No, Jamar Chase is a freak athlete.
Really good player.
Yeah.
Really
he's outstanding. JC, I'm going to go ahead and say it before you say it. Alabama gets 6 players taken in the first round. You know what's interesting about that, though?
Yeah.
You want to know, is there anything interesting about those 6 picks to you?
I mean, no, because it's expected. It was expected.
No, okay, so here's where I'm going with it.
Alex Leatherwood's not a bad offensive lineman. I mean,
but here's where I'm going with it. Out of those 6 picks, only 1 plays defense.
Yeah. Well, right.
And your coach is a defensive guru.
Well, they've been pretty good on that side of the ball up till maybe last year, where they were good enough because nobody could stop that offense. Now, I want to go back real quick to the Jaguars. They have Robinson, but Robinson got hurt. How are they going to use Robinson and ETN is kind of what I'm thinking, because
they also have Carlos Hyde. So basically they got 3 really good running backs. ETN probably in his rookie year is going to be more of a third down guy. Real quick, we got a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Mellon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Dan says Tony had all the hats on. I went to sleep before Tony got drafted.
Yeah.
Has all the hats on his table. Guess he didn't know either. Well, what they do for the guys that are not at the location of the draft, they send them every hat of every team.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to. They put a hat on for TV, so
don't know.
They have no idea. So they send them all 32 hats. Dan says Bama with 4 wide receivers in the last 2 years, and the first is crazy.
Well, it's wide receiver. And Saban, when you think about that 2017 recruiting class, 8 NFL first-round selections, 3 top 5 Heisman Trophy winners, and 1 Heisman winner in that 2017 recruiting class. You also have at least 3 stars taken in the first round in each of the last 5 years. And Alabama has 39, or Saban has 39 first rounders picked. I mean, 39 first round draft picks since joining Alabama in 2007. 39. So
that's a lot.
They're loaded. They're always loaded.
Yeah, I was surprised with Alex Leatherwood though going. I talked to a lot of friends of mine that played offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah,
and,
they don't like him.
I mean, it's not they don't like him. He could turn out to be pretty good, but they didn't think he was a first round.
Maybe he'll be right. Right, maybe he'll be a right tackle instead of blindside tackle.
I think he's going to end up being a guard in the NFL.
A guard, yeah, good.
Yeah, he's not athletic enough to play tackle.
Right. Well, we'll see. Yeah, Surtain also somewhat surprising. I guess Denver needed some cornerback help for sure, and that's the guy they went with. But man, I can just remember seeing Surtain get hammered.
Why did that surprise you?
Well, I didn't think he was. He should have gone that high. I never really was.
He's phenomenal.
Well, I guess I don't know.
JC
you know
Horn,
what? I'm a little over. Well, Horn, yes, but maybe I'm a little overcritical because he's an Alabama guy, and all I can remember is guys running behind him. But
oh my God, you sound like the Gator fans talking about when a guy throws a completion on a guy that you're supposed to defend every ball. Oh my goodness, that's oh my God.
No, don't be. I mean, come on, you're really going to act like that? That 9th pick, really?
Dude, he is. I mean, he is as good a DB as I've ever seen come out of college.
No, come on. He's
Yes,
he's not Jalen Ramsey. I'm sorry. He is not. He is not Deion Sanders. He's not that good. He's good, but he's not those guys. Come on.
Well, I don't know where those guys were picked, but I'm telling you right now, Pat Surtain is going to be a damn good player at the next level.
We'll see. Well, yeah, I mean, they definitely think so in Denver. But
put it this way. He is a first-round pick by no matter who. If Denver doesn't take him, somebody's going to take him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, you got I don't know what you're watching, but you're crazy as hell. He is a good player.
I watch more Alabama games than you do. So
I know, but the ones that I watch that tell me that he is a legit player, and it's in his bloodlines too.
I think Eddie Jackson was a lot better than he was. Eddie Jackson, I think, had more interceptions. Eddie Jackson could return punts.
That doesn't matter, JC. Is Eddie Jackson playing anywhere?
No, he's playing in Chicago.
That's what I'm saying, but he's a safety too.
Right, he is a safety, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what I would like to say. The NFL's glad you're not evaluating talent.
Well, okay. Well, listen, again, I don't know why the 49ers felt the need to trade to get Trey Lance. I never – did you hear Trey Lance's name at all last season?
Yeah. So a couple of days ago, there was some stuff on Twitter, and it was – I think Trent Dilfer had tweeted something with a press conference or an interview with Kyle Shanahan talking about his run game and how difficult it is, especially in the NFL, because you don't see it when you have the zone read. Yeah, an athletic quarterback. All right. That basically what Trent said in his tweet was how you retweet something and you do a comment and it had like the big eyeballs, like So that should have told people right there Mac Jones wasn't their guy because he can't run the zone read. What's crazy about Trey Lance, and he's only played 17 games at North Dakota State, and he was a multi-purpose athlete in high school. Didn't have one offer from a Division I school, not one.
Yeah,
and I think North Dakota State wanted him to play a different position at one point,
maybe.
But I think I will say this: I think Kyle Shanahan is one of the top 5 play callers in the league, and I think he will do a really good job. I haven't watched enough of Trey Lance to know anything. I mean, at North Dakota State, who knows? No. But I'm very confident if you're a 49er fan that with Kyle Shanahan calling plays that they'll make it work. Now, he doesn't have to play right away either. They still got Garoppolo.
Right. And there was talk that Garoppolo would be traded to New England. That could still happen. I don't know now. I am also interested in what Chicago did with Justin Fields. It's the same kind of scenario I think you have because Matt Nagy has to score points if he's going to keep his job. I don't know what this means for Trubisky, but Justin Fields is their future.
Trubisky plays for the Buffalo Bills.
I'm sorry, he did get traded. Excuse me. So that's why the damn Bears took Justin Fields. Okay.
Well, here's who the Bears have on their roster quarterback. They have Andy Dalton, and they have Nick Foles is going to be their third string quarterback, making $9 million.
Good for Nick.
We got some Facebook Lives here.
Trubisky got traded to
Buffalo Bills. He didn't get traded. His contract was up.
So they let him go.
Cowboys wanted Surtain. He's a lockdown corner. When he got taken by Denver, the Cowboys traded down. So but JC doesn't like his own player.
No, I don't think he's great. I think
that's why you're like the Gator fans who don't think Marco Wilson's very good. I think Marco Wilson's a very good player. He's going to play a long time in the NFL.
Okay, we'll see. How about
Devontae? You want to put a wager on that?
No, I don't. How about Devontae Smith going to Philadelphia? That's a good pick.
It is, but I don't think he's – I mean, I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts being a quarterback that can get him the ball.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Well, are you surprised that the Eagles took him?
Well, he was probably on their draft board best player available. Well, Duke can score touchdowns, so you got to take him.
Yeah, there's no.
I don't even know who the the Eagles coach is right now. Here we go, JC. We got some Facebook Lives here. No, this is a Titan MRI text.
Oh, texting.
It says I don't know who this is from, but it says who will be the next Gator pick, Trask or Stone Forsythe. It all depends on what.
It just depends on who's picking too. Yeah, right. When does that start? It's noon today. Is that second round get started noon?
I think it's at night. These are the kind of things you're supposed to know because
I got my mind on another tournament I'm about to win. So
I got wagers saying you don't.
That's fine. You would have lost your ass too last week, but that's okay. That's all right. We don't care. Listen, I think Trask is going in the second round. I'll say that. Why wouldn't you want an accurate passer on your roster? So,
well, like I said, you got it. What people don't understand, you got to figure out what your team needs. Does your team even need a backup quarterback? You know, the next three quarterbacks taken are either going to be Trask, Davis Mills, or Kellen Mond. One of those three.
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to. They may not go to the third round. You never know.
Well, I'd be stunned to see Kellen Mond go before Kyle Trask, but I guess anything can happen.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are high on the Davis Mills guy, but what's crazy about the draft is
I'm not.
You know, you hear all these smoke signals going up 3 or 4 days. You know, the whole Mac Jones thing it really blows you away because I started feeling sorry for him.
Sitting there in that room, like his head down.
At one point, I'm thinking he may not get picked in the first round.
Does anybody want me? I swear. Well, yeah. I mean, you have to think that because, and I think it's logical that New England would get him. I do. I mean, what do they have? So
they have nothing. They have Cam Newton. I would start Mac Jones from day one.
Cam Newton's I think his days are over. Unless they were going to trade for Garoppolo, which they could still do. I think you had to go get a quarterback. And there he was sitting in that room, and Belichick couldn't pass on him. So good for Mac.
We got another text here on the Titanamar text line. Okay. It comes from William. William says, do y'all think Urban is going to sign Tim Tebow?
Yeah. Well,
I don't.
I mean, no. And that came out. When did that come out? This morning or yesterday?
Yesterday, he reported it. I don't know. In the last couple of days, he worked out as a tight end for them. Here's why I say I don't think he gets signed. A, he's making probably 8 times more doing what he's doing now, maybe 10 times more than he will if he makes an NFL roster. B, a lot. Nothing against him, but he's been out of the game a long time. And to play tight end at that level, I don't know if he can.
Or it might be a gimmick to sell tickets. I mean, I don't think they need
They don't need to sell tickets. Number 16 has sold all the tickets they need.
I 100% agree, but you know how it is up there. The guy
and then the other reason why I don't think they sign him is because what's going to happen when Urban and them have to release him?
Oh, that's going to be ugly. I mean, I don't know if it's a gimmick or what. I mean, I don't really think they will either. I'm kind of siding with you on this one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. So if anybody has any thoughts on Facebook Live or in the Titanamar hotline, they can let us know.
Hey, look at my guy Kisner, 3 under. How about that? Look at that.
Yeah, I think Victor Hovland is 2 under, and the rest of our guys stink.
Are not in it, but the leader is 7. Keegan Bradley, he won't last.
Max did you see what Keegan Bradley did in the snake pit?
No, I missed that.
He birdied 3 of the 4 holes.
Yeah.
He played good golf.
He can hit it a mile. He's due to win something. It's been a long time for that guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, JC, we know you're busy. Yeah. So real quick, I know you have this stat, and I meant to write it down. How many SEC players were taken in the first round?
10.
No, dude. Alabama had 6.
No, I'm thinking
LSU.
I'm
Florida
thinking
had 2.
I'm thinking
okay, well,
8, 10.
You
10,
got
11,
you got way too much stuff on your mind, JC. I know you're concerned about your golf tournament today
at Hawkstone. Well, I mean, Hawkstone's looking really good right now. I know you're jealous.
Not at all.
I know you were out here.
Thank goodness we have Dan. It was 12 SEC players.
Okay, so I said 10. My God, QB, it wasn't that far off.
Yeah, Dan also says no on Tebow, maybe a consultant job. There's no reason for Tebow because even being a consultant, it takes up so many hours. And being a player or a coach, Tebow has other things to do. I just don't see it happening.
Well, he does, but it's Jacksonville. It's Urban Meyer. He wants to be a part of what's special there, and maybe in some capacity he'll help out. I don't really know what it would be though.
Yeah,
and you're right, consultant. I don't know, scout.
I don't see it happening.
Right. Well,
but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it could. I mean, the guy, he loves Urban. Urban loves him. So
that doesn't mean a damn thing. Spurrier loved us, and it didn't work out for any of us.
Well, no, but they gave you a shot. He did give you a shot.
Well, well, here's the thing. We played the position that we played. We're not trying to play wide receiver.
No, true. I didn't. Yeah.
It's a different league, my man. It's a
he's
different
certainly
ball
not.
game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a whole different ball game, and certainly quarterback is out of the question. So, I'm glad for Jacksonville. I'm glad for those fans. I'm happy for these Gators that got drafted in the first round, and there will be more coming today. And I think it's exciting. It's exciting for people around here to watch the Jaguars and the Dolphins and the Buccaneers, man. 3 teams in the state of Florida with a lot of energy and activity behind them. It's exciting. The Bucs are sold out the entire place. The Dolphins have all these picks, and they're going to be good in the East. And then you have what's going on in Jacksonville. That's a great time to be a Florida pro football fan.
Yep. All right, JC, hit them straight.
All right, you bet. I'll let you know how it goes on Monday. Thank you, brother.
I can't wait. And I know our listeners can't wait either. That's right. JC. Join us on the Titan MR hotline. We're going to take our first time out of the program. When we come back, we're going to be joined by former Gator basketball player Kenyon Berry. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Carter Apparel, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Looking for all type of restaurant people, managers, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, dishwashers, bussers. If you think you're good in the restaurant business, then give us a call.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill job fair is open now through May 15th. All you have to do is go to spurriersdraft.com and fill out an application.
We're looking for the good team members, and we're looking for people with a wonderful attitude that can make Spurrier's Gridiron Grill the best we can possibly be. To apply, go to spurriersdraft.com.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Point is where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Regal Cinemas, Dave & Buster's, Le Macaron, Sushi Hana Bass Pro Shopping coming June of 2021, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Visors, Tailgate and Rooftop Bar. We will see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to go to the Titan MR hotline. And we're going to be joined by former Gator basketball player, Kenyon Berry. Good morning, Kenyon. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Kenyon, let's start. You grew up in Colorado, I believe. And when you were coming out of high school, talk a little bit about your recruiting process and why you chose the College of Charleston.
Yeah, so coming out of high school, I actually wasn't super highly recruited. I didn't play AAU. It was one of those things where at the time, Colorado really didn't have a huge AAU basketball community. And my dad was not a huge fan of the AAU style of basketball where the first person to touch it across half court shoots it.
Right.
So I played a couple tournaments here and there with some AAU teams and then mainly just relied on high school basketball to get recruited, and then just some family connections. You know, we reached out to different schools, coaches, sent some high school highlights, that kind of thing. So I was pretty small in high school too. It was one of those things where I played on the freshman team as a freshman. I played on JV as a sophomore, and I didn't actually play on varsity until I was a junior. So I was kind of a late bloomer. It took me a while to develop. I was like 5'8", 98 pounds going into high school. So I really, like I said, didn't have a ton of offers coming out. I had a pretty good senior season, junior year and senior year. And, you know, my top three were Davidson, College of Charleston, and then my dad's alma mater, Miami. So Charleston had Coach Bobby Cremens, who coached two of my brothers at Georgia Tech. We had a great family relationship. So he was the first school to offer me, went on my official visit there, absolutely loved Charleston. And then Davidson never actually gave me a full offer. You know, McKillop, who's a great coach, kept saying, oh, we want to come watch one more game. You want to come watch one more game? And then University of Miami didn't have a scholarship spot that season. They knew I was going to redshirt regardless. So they said, you know, if you come pay your redshirt, we'll give you a scholarship the next year. But with all the things considered, you know, I just loved Charleston. I fell in love with the city when I went there. They had a nice honors college, good academic school. And then obviously the relationship with Bobby Cremens kind of set it over the top. So that's how I ended up at CFC.
Yeah, I totally forgot about him coaching your two brothers there at Georgia Tech. So you had a really good career there, and then you graduated and you pursued to play elsewhere. When you're talking to mainly the Gator Nation right now, what brought you to the University of Florida? Was it Mike White, the academics at Florida, a combination of both?
Yeah, it was actually the main thing I say was Coach Jordan Mincy. So he was an assistant at Charleston when I was playing there, and then he left and eventually ended up on Mike White's staff. So then when they got the job at Florida, that was the connection that kind of initially interested me. And then the more research I did, I was transferring as a grad transfer and had an undergrad degree in physics and really wanted to get into engineering. So I was looking for obviously good basketball schools, but also good academic schools with good engineering programs. And UF had a great engineering school. I really wanted to do nuclear engineering, and it was one of the few schools that had a good nuclear engineering program. So when I went there and visited and, you know, loved the school, loved the campus, had really good meetings with the basketball staff and the engineering people, and it was kind of a perfect fit.
Yeah. Not many athletes at the collegiate level are doing nuclear engineering. That's quite impressive, my man. Okay, so you get to Florida, have a pretty good career here. I just got a text here on the Titan MR text line from Sheila. Sheila wants to know, where did your parents come up with the name Canyon?
Yeah, so they were on a rafting trip in the Grand Canyon. They were, you know, going down the river where they would travel in the rafts all day and then camp out down there in the night. And that's when my mom first realized that she might be pregnant. So, you know, they're joking around, oh, if it's a boy, we should name him Canyon. And then, you know, here I am.
Yeah, interesting. So when you look back at your Gator career, playing in the SEC, was there a big difference for you when you went from playing ball at College of Charleston to the SEC? I mean, obviously in basketball, you got the NCAA tournament where smaller schools play the big boys. But was there any type of adjustment that you had to make?
Yeah, you know, I think honestly at the Division I level nowadays, everyone is pretty good. You know, anyone can beat anyone, which we see year in and year out during March Madness. I think the biggest adjustment from the CAA, where Charleston was into the SEC, was just the level of athlete. You know, when you go mid-major to high major, most of the time I think the skills are pretty comparable. It's just at high major schools, the posts are 6'9" instead of 6'6". The guards are 6'6" instead of 6'2". It's just kind of that size and strength and speed effect. So I think the SEC has some of the best athletes in the country. You know, I think it's a pretty guard-heavy league. And then I think that was probably the main difference. Skill-wise, everyone's obviously pretty good at Division I level, but I think the speed was probably the biggest adjustment for SEC play.
Yeah. So your free throw shooting, you shot free throws like your dad, old Rick Barry. Two-part question here. When did you start shooting? I guess we can call it the old granny shot. I don't know what the technical term for that is.
Underhanded free throw.
Underhanded free throw. There you go. My bad. So is that the first way he taught you to shoot a free throw when you were a youngster?
Yeah. I mean, when I was little, we had one of those little, indoor hoops and the tiny miniature basketballs. And I learned the underhanded form at a young age. I didn't actually make the switch until junior year in high school. About a week before the season, I went to my dad and was like, I think I want to try to get a couple seasons of underhanded under my belt before college. I always knew I was going to switch. It was just a matter of when. You kind of need your hands a little bit bigger to hold the ball properly when we were using the big, full-size men's basketball. And like I said, I was kind of a late bloomer growing wise. So about junior year, I hit my growth spurt and my hands were finally big enough. And right before the season, I said, you know what, screw it. Let's make the switch. I think for my first couple of years, I was high 70s, 78, 79%. And then after that, it just kind of clicked. And that's when I jumped up to 80s and high 80s.
Do you think, because I watch a lot of college basketball and you got all these big men who have trouble shooting free throws and they talk about their hand size as an issue. Do you think if they were to switch to the underhand, they would be more successful?
Oh, absolutely. I think my whole thing on the underhand free throw and my dad's too is we've been trying to get more people to switch, as long as we've been shooting it. I think it's from a science background, which, obviously I am with my physics and engineering degrees. A bunch of articles have been published, and I think Sports Science did a little bit on it, but it's an easier shot because it's a more repeatable motion. When you got the overhand shot, you have 3 different hinge joints that have to work in unison to correctly put the ball in the hole. You got your shoulder that has to move, your elbow that has to move, and your wrist that has to move. And with all that movement, there's a lot of room for error. And with the underhand, it's really just one joint. It's just your shoulder moving and, your arm rotates a little bit, but there's less to go wrong with that shot. Plus it's a super soft shot. It kind of dies on the rim. You get better bounces. So from a scientific standpoint, it makes sense. And then percentage wise, I've kind of always been, if you're below 70, I think you should give it a chance to switch. You're not a good free throw shooter. You have lots of room for improvement. If you're in the 70s, I think practice more. You can get to 80 and above. You're a good free throw shooter. There's no need to switch. So that's kind of the cutoff for me. And you talked about hand size, and I think that's a great point, especially for big men. It's really hard to shoot something with touch that's small. Like, so if you shoot a basketball, you can get good feel, you can get good rotation. It comes off your hand well. If you said, all right, shoot this tennis ball or this grapefruit into the hoop, it's a lot harder to get feel and develop that feel just because it's a smaller ball. It doesn't come off your hand as well. And it's different. So like you're saying, those big guys with big hands, the underhand is perfect because of how you're holding the ball. It's a much easier release and it comes off your hand much more naturally. So, any college players, any NBA players, I've been trying to get people to switch. And I understand it's hard because one, there's not a lot of teachers out there, right? I mean, you're looking at really 2 people that understand the mechanics of it really well and have done it at a high level. So that's one issue right there. And then the other issue, I think, is people don't want to deal with the criticism. You're going to get made fun of. You're going to get heckled by the fans. You're going to have people looking at you and hooting and hollering every time you shoot. And, it takes a certain level of mental toughness to be able to overcome that. Eventually, when you make 80, 90% of them, it's hard for them to give you any kind of, jeers or whatever you want to call it, because you're making all your free throws. Who cares how it looks if you're putting the ball in a hoop at a high rate, high percentage. So I hope people will give it a chance and try to switch.
Yeah. At Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. Speaking with former Florida basketball star Kenyon Berry here on their Titan MR hotline. Let me ask you this. You were a graduate transfer, but now it seems like college basketball, and we just saw it with the Gators. They lose a ton of players, then they got a lot of players coming in. Some people think the roster's already much better. I personally do. But do you think that's just the way of college basketball now? I know, Eric Musselman out at Arkansas when he was at Nevada, built his entire program off transfers. Do you think that's the way of the world now in college hoops?
It's interesting. It's definitely a change. I know, some coaches are for the transfers, some are against it. Everyone's kind of saying how, kids are so entitled these days. They don't start, they don't play enough. They're just going to leave. And I understand that. I think that's an issue to a point. But my thoughts on this are college basketball should always be athlete focused. If an athlete thinks that they're going to be more successful and have a better chance and a better opportunity to succeed in life and academics on the court at another institution, I don't think the NCAA or any college coach or any school has the right to tell them, no, you're forced to stay here. That's just my opinion. I think it's good for athletes to be able to make decisions like the real world. If you think you got a better job opportunity somewhere else, go take that job opportunity. You know, everyone's always trying to get these kids to learn about the real world and how stuff like that works. I mean, that kind of is the real world. If a coach gets a better job offer, he's not saying, well, I think I'm going to stay. You know, I got to put in my time here. If he gets paid, he's going to go to that next school. So I think it's going to create an interesting dynamic with college basketball, because that being said, I do think there is something that's might cause some issues with people saying, you know, oh, all right, I didn't play enough, I'm leaving my first year. When, you know, it's kind of the nature of the beast where, you know, freshmen don't play a lot, sophomore you play some more, junior, senior, you kind of find your role and develop into, you know, a main player or a staple of the offense and whatever scheme coach is running. But the interesting thing that I think is going to happen now is you have these good high school kids that come into high major programs, the Floridas, the Dukes, the Kentuckys, the Kansases. But all of the freshmen that didn't play that year are leaving, and they're getting transfers that average 17, 18, 19 points a game from mid-majors. And I think a lot of time, those mid-major transfers are going to be better than the incoming high school kid freshmen. So then it makes an interesting dynamic in college basketball, because then those freshmen that went to the high major schools aren't going to play as much, aren't going to start, aren't going to be as happy, and are going to leave. So it's going to kind of make this interesting cycle of, if you're a high major recruit, do you go to high major schools knowing that they're getting the best transfers? Or do you maybe go to some mid-major schools where you know you're going to be the big fish? Or do you look at the G League Ignite program now, where high school guys are going and just getting paid, you know, $500 to $1 million off the bat and forgo eligibility and try your hand at the G League? So I think the next couple of years are going to be real interesting for college basketball.
Yeah, I agree. Jim asked here on the Titan Tomorrow hotline, who's the better free throw shooter, you or your dad?
I mean, to start, he definitely had me, but now I feel I'm at a point where it's pretty automatic. So if we get out there, I think it would be a good contest, but you got to always believe in yourself. So I think I can take him down at this point.
There you go. Kenny, let me ask you this. You weren't drafted. So, I mean, there's so many guys that come out of college basketball that aren't drafted. You have to go overseas. You can make good money over there. Did you enjoy playing overseas?
I hated it. Oh, I hated it. But, you know, my first year out, had a bunch of pre-draft workouts, played summer league with the Knicks, had a pretty good, you know, draft experience. I didn't ever think I was going to get drafted coming out of Florida, but had some good opportunities. And, you know, when I first decided, I was like, I don't think I'm going to do my G League the first year. I think I want to go overseas. And I had some agent trouble, ended up in 2 spots overseas that I just absolutely hated and didn't like. I was in Finland, I was in Czech Republic. It wasn't good. So switched agent representation, kind of came back and was able to go to China over the summer, which was, a much better league, a better experience, way more money, put up huge numbers there, and then came back and was like, all right, I've tried the Europe thing. You know, it might have gone differently if I had started in, better clubs or a better league, better programs. But I was like, I'm going to pass on that for now. I'm going to try the G League route. And, I've been there ever since. I've done 3 years with the Iowa Wolves, which has been good. I've put up good numbers my first year, got hurt, missed most of my second year with a broken leg. And then we had the bubble season this year. And I think I probably had one of my best G League seasons yet in the bubble. So, I'm continuing to get better. Obviously, NBA is the goal, but, I've enjoyed the development of my game and being able to travel the world with basketball. And now, I'm kind of able to focus on 3-on-3 basketball for the USAB and the Olympics coming up. And that's something that I've really become passionate about. And I think if I could play 3-on-3 full time and make a living doing it, it's something that I would love to do. And hopefully that kind of blows up after the Olympics.
Well, speaking of the 3-on-3, I was going to bring that up. You were part of a team that won something, right? A 3-on-3 tournament?
Yeah, so we actually won the World Cup for 3-on-3, which was a huge accomplishment. No U.S. men's team has ever won it. 3-on-3 obviously isn't super popular in the States, but it's gained a lot of traction in Europe, and I think we're going to see it explode after the Olympics in Tokyo. But it's been dominated by those Eastern European countries: Serbia, Latvia, Lithuania. They kind of invented the 3-on-3 playbook and how the game is played. So the U.S. has kind of been playing catch up just from a standpoint of no one plays it here. So we had to kind of build it from the ground up. And we finally at a point where we're making some headway. We had a great World Cup. And then now we're off to the Olympic qualifying tournament on the 26th of May in Austria. We got to place top 3 out of 20 countries there. And then we'll be in Tokyo.
Who are your teammates on that 3-on-3?
So for our World Cup, it was Kareem Maddox, Robbie Hummel, and Damon Huffman and I. And then for the Olympic qualifying team, Kareem, Robbie, and I. And then we added Dominique Jones. So
now Robbie's the kid from Purdue, right? That does the broadcasting.
Yeah, Robbie played at Purdue, played in the league for a while, played overseas, and then now does the ESPN broadcasting.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, good luck with that, man. Hey, I was going to ask you because I can't remember what time of the year they have this tournament, but it's like, I want to say it's in the summertime. I'm laying around after playing golf or something, flipping through the channels. That tournament they have called the basketball tournament with all the old former players from certain universities.
Yeah.
They play for like $1 million. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Why does the University of Florida never have a team in that?
I think we could probably field one. It's one of those things where, someone needs to organize it, and it's kind of just a matter of getting guys that are bought in and want to do it. It's usually in the off season. So, a lot of guys want to take their off season to just train or be with family or whatever. So you kind of just got to find a team to do it. And then you got to go qualify in some of the other tournaments. I'm sure UF could field a pretty good team, but I haven't heard anything about it from anyone.
Oh, gotcha. Right now, who do you think is the best team in the NBA?
I'm not sure. I don't watch a ton of NBA basketball. Who I enjoy watching, I don't think is the best team in the NBA, but I love watching the Hornets. I think just with their young talent, they're super exciting. But I really do love the way the Bucks play. I think Giannis is just an absolute freak. I think, they're tough-nosed defensively. They're a great team. I think they're always in contention. Lakers are always good. Obviously, when they get Bron back healthy, they're a force to be reckoned with. I've been a Laker fan for a while, just with Kobe being one of my favorite players growing up. So I always like to see them do well. But, yeah, I don't know. It'll be an interesting season. I think playoffs is the best time of year for NBA basketball. It's just the games seem to ratchet up a notch with intensity, and I always love watching NBA playoffs. So it'll be a fun year to see what happens.
Last thing for you, Mike White, as I mentioned earlier, brings in a bunch of guys. Kid from Missouri, Kansas City, a player from Penn State, Charleston Southern. Like you said, some of these mid-majors. Do you think they made this roster much better heading into next year?
I think they got a chance to do better. I like the incoming roster. I don't know a lot of the guys that transferred in. I didn't watch a lot of their games. I don't know their skill levels, but from just looking at their stats, it looks like they're obviously all good players. I think the hardest thing for Coach White to have to balance with a team of transfers is just going to be egos. When you are the guy at your school and you're averaging 16, 17, 18 points a game, have the ultimate green light, and then you come to Florida and there's 5 other guys that average 16, 17, 18s that are transfers as well. Plus, you got the guys that were here last year that, kind of expect some loyalty from the coaches and, have put their time into the program. I think one of the hardest parts about managing a team with that many transfers is getting everyone to understand what their role is going to be. Are you going to buy into that role? Are you going to be willing to sacrifice for the team? Or are you going to be, selfish and worry about your own stats and your numbers versus team wins?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Cannon, you were the academic All-American of the year in 2017. smart guy, nuclear engineering. So when basketball is all said and done, what's Canyon Barry plan on doing with this nuclear engineering degree?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Honestly, I hope I never have to use it. When basketball is done, I've thought about getting into broadcasting. I think I would really enjoy that. Maybe try to get on SEC Network, call some games. Would love to stay in the South and, kind of be affiliated with the Gators or the SEC Network and stay kind of where my roots are. I really like it down here, but thought about doing some other basketball stuff, maybe front office. I don't think I could do coaching. I don't know. I think it'd be tough. I don't want my livelihood dependent on a bunch of knuckleheaded 18-year-old kids. So I might have to stay away from the college basketball coaching, but I think it's one of those things where when I'm done playing, the opportunities will kind of present themselves and doors will open up. And it's just going to be a matter of finding something that I love to do where every day I get up, it doesn't feel like going to work.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to join our program. Good luck in the 3-on-3. We'll be following you, and we'll talk to you soon, bud.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
That's Canyon Barry. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. I'm going to take our second and final time out of the program. When we come back, we'll wrap up this edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
Hey Gators, this is Coach Steve Spurrier. Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, M.M. Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TB Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Darshakow Insurance. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
We're looking for all type of restaurant people, managers, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, dishwashers, bussers. If you think you're good in the restaurant business, then give us a call.
Spurrier's Gridiron Grill job fair is open now through May 15th. All you have to do is go to spurriersdraft.com and fill out an application.
We're looking for the good team members, and we're looking for people with a wonderful attitude that can make Spurrier's Gridiron Grill the best we can possibly be. To apply, go to spurriersdraft.com.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. At Center State Bank, we put business first. We're the largest community bank in the state of Florida, and understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. Center State Bank, member FDIC. I want to thank JC for joining us. Canyon Barry, we had to tape his interview. He's doing rehab, so we had to work that in. So I apologize for not being able to ask some of the questions that you guys wanted to know. I did see one Facebook Live. It had something to do with Tebow and Urban living on the same street, and there's no way that Urban would release Tebow. First of all, Urban ain't never going to be home. Urban's going to be basically living at I don't know what their ballpark's called now. They're at the stadium. We got This Day in Sports, which is brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. From now till May 31st, get our preventative maintenance plan for $169 to save almost 40% off the normal cost. Any maintenance schedule between now and May 31st, you will be entered to win a Nest thermostat with installation. This Day in Sports in 2015, speaking of the NFL draft, Florida State quarterback Jameis Winston, your first pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we want to thank our good friends at Comfort Temp for sponsoring that segment. We got a bunch of texts here on the Titan MR text line that I want to get to. Let's see. What did Joe? Joe says, Do you think Mac Jones went to the right spot? I don't think Mac Jones could have picked a better spot. You know, what's interesting is he's ready to play for the Patriots because he's walking into a situation that he's had the last 3 or 4 years at Alabama. Pretty much the same type of coach, same way they run offense. So I think it was a perfect fit for Mac. Larry asked, would you have chosen Waddle over Devontae Smith? You know, it's tough. They're both excellent players. Waddle's a little more physical, a little bit bigger, I believe, thicker than Devontae. But, you know, it's whatever the organization thinks is the best fit for them. But I think both of those receivers are outstanding. Dan says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law, nuclear engineer. Closest I came to that is running the microwave oven. I hear you, brother. I can't even imagine what he had to do in class. This comes from Joseph. Joseph wants to know, the Jags take ETN. Do you think they needed a first-round running back? Yes, I do. James Robinson, great story last year being an undrafted free agent. They added Carlos Hyde. But ETN, in my opinion, is the best running back in the draft. Like I said earlier in the show when JC was on, I think he is very, very similar to Alvin Kamara, although I think Alvin Kamara is the best running back in the league. This comes from Bill. Bill says, do you think Kadarius Toney will flourish in New York? I think he's going to be a playmaker for him. I mean, Daniel Jones has to get him the football. You know, it all comes down to making plays and them getting him the football the right way. We got a bunch of texts here on the Titan MR text line, and thank you guys for reaching out there. I love reading your texts on the show. And this comes from John. John says, how did the Bengals not take an offensive lineman? You know, I think they were in a tough spot. You know, with Joe Burrow not getting protected very well last year, gets his knee blown out. That doesn't really have anything to do with protection issues, just bad luck. But we do know they have some issues on the offensive line. But, man, when you got a guy like Jamar Chase, one of Burrow's former teammates at LSU, this dude is going to be an all-pro wide receiver. You can't pass him up. This guy can score touchdowns. So I think the Bengals made the right move there. So we shall see. Then we got another one here. This is from Blaine. Blaine asked, should have the Falcons taken a QB with the 4th pick? I say absolutely not. There was some talk that if Trey Lance was there, they may take him. But look, Matt Ryan is a very good NFL quarterback. He's only 35 years old, I believe. You got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and now you add a guy like Kyle Pitts. I mean, he has a chance to be one of the most dynamic offenses in the league. So I think the Falcons made the right move. Now, if they want another quarterback, maybe, I don't know when they select in the 2nd or 3rd, maybe you get a Kyle Trask or you get a Kellen Mond or somebody like that. But I mean, if you're going to take a quarterback now, I think the Falcons have to take Trask wherever that may go. Real quick, we got one more here on the Titan MR text line. It says, this is from Billy. Billy says, how early in the second does Trask go? I don't know. You got to look at the needs of the teams. And I don't follow the draft. I don't even know if it's during the day today or tonight. I think it's tonight. But hopefully Kyle will get drafted in the 2nd round. May go to the 3rd. You never know. But he's a guy that's going to last a long time in the NFL, in my opinion. Hope y'all enjoyed today's show, folks. We got next week, we're going to have a bunch of draft people from Pro Football Focus join us. We're going to have Randy Mueller, a former general manager. Not sure which days. We got to work it out with their schedules, but we're going to recap this draft. Hopefully more Gators go this weekend. Hope you enjoyed the program today. I want to thank again Kenyon Berry and JC for joining us on the Titan MR Hotline. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. Take care, folks. Have a great weekend. See you next week.